Hi, welcome back.
Hey y'all, we back.
Episode 49, Fetishism of Black Bodies. But before we get into that, I am Syn Delano. It has been a week.
It has.
It has been a week. I've been in and out of the doctor, hence this ugly ass bruise on my arm. My elbows, I don't know if you knew this, my elbows don't bend all the way.
You told me that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's as far as it go. It's a nurse's nightmare. And they try to bend my elbows. And I'd be like, no, bitch, it doesn't go that way. Technically, it's a birth defect I got from my dad. My brother and sister don't have it, but my elbows, they kind of, it's like I'm supposed to be a bodybuilder. My arms just stay like that. They're like, that is as far as my arm go. It do not bend all the way. So it's horrible trying to get blood,
yeah.
right? So every now and then they have to take a vein out the top of my arm, and that's what it looked like.
Wow, I didn't know that was why they took blood from there, because your girl.
Yeah, and this shit hurts.
But you're talking to somebody who's double jointed, so
yeah. So your elbow can probably bend all the way backwards.
Yeah, I can do all types of crazy things that I thought were regular, and then somebody was like, "Bitch, everybody can't do it."
my sister's double jointed. I am not.
Yeah.
So
that's an interesting thing as far as like my hands and things. It's weird.
Yes.
It's very weird. But
so being stuck like a pincushion this week, lots of diagnoses, which I won't get into now. Week 2 of being without the bug.
Are you accustomed to it yet?
Of course not. She's my favorite person. I actually got 2 letters from her in the mail yesterday.
Oh, yay!
And she told me, tell everyone I miss them and I love them. I waited now to tell you. I've been talking to you all day.
I was like, when I said, give me her address to write a letter, I was like, email. Like, I was like, let me email
yeah.
her.
She told me that she was like, the first night dinner was busting. And I found out why. There's some Black people in the kitchen. So she was like, dinner be good every night because it's Black people cooking it.
Right.
So she's enjoying the food. There's been lots of activities. And she said, but she is sweating like a pig. Yes. And she don't like it.
Of course.
So she be trying to take as many showers as she can.
Yes.
But she said she was like, I still don't like how I smell though. Like I should have brought my perfume.
We got to send her with some batty Earls the next time.
Well, I told her not to take it because mosquitoes. Mosquitoes and bugs are attracted to smells. And, right. She has all the Bath and Body Works stuff. So I told her don't take any fragrance stuff. So she don't want to get bit. I got her some Irish Spring liquid soap.
Okay.
But yeah, she's like.
Has the Irish Spring been working for her though?
She didn't say it wasn't.
Okay.
And I got her some, they have to take non-aerosol bug repellent.
I got you.
So I got her some cream she could rub on.
Okay.
But she hasn't said. She sent me 2 very short letters, which I'm not shocked. The kids of today.
Yeah.
They'd be like, a letter? What's that? But she put the date on it. So she actually wrote me the day she got there. She wrote me the day she got there and the day after that. And I just she got there June 17th.
Uh-huh.
I just got her letters yesterday. So it's June 22nd.
Yeah.
So, when they have the meeting, I'm gonna be like, y'all got to do something different because these kids, you're telling them they can't talk to their parents for 3 weeks, but the mail is slow
as hell. But they did say when we went to the meeting that they had like the one lady that uses her own car that delivers the mail
once a week.
Once a week, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So that means they only pick it up once a week. So technically, your kids can only send you stuff 3 times a week.
Yeah.
I mean, once a week.
Once a week.
So they can only send stuff 3 times.
Yeah.
Even if you put it in the mail every day, she don't come pick it up or deliver it.
Yeah.
For 1 week.
That's weird. I mean, I get it because it's kind of out there, but.
So I probably won't get if Bug sent me any more. Bless you. If Bug sent me any more letters, I probably won't get them until next week.
Sorry, I have to I sneezed,
Okay.
so I'm cleaning myself.
So yeah, that's pretty much been my week in a nutshell. Oh, shout out to Snooze. I have to say this. Shout out to Snooze Eateries. Best customer service ever. If there is one near you, Snooze AM Eatery. Go to it. Extremely diverse staff, great food, great customer service, and good prices.
Snooze, I'm trying to get in you for a minute. So I'm gonna try again.
Yes.
After this, talking to her, try.
You come with us when we go when Bug comes back.
Yeah, because that probably will be my best bet.
Yes.
Yeah.
So who are you?
And
what's your weekend like?
I am the Black Widow Spider. No. No,
You're foolish.
I am foolish. Hi, I'm Tam. First week of school for me. That was interesting. It was only interesting because last minute Lucy's and Larry's that no matter how much information is given to people, people don't read. And then, you know, your emergency somehow is supposed to be my emergency. And I actually kind of don't operate that way. So, but aside from that, I'm progressing in my packing.
Yay!
I found other things to give away. I have these IKEA sells these really cute boxes that you can put like your junk in, like your paperwork and stuff. And so at some point I had lots of paperwork. So I had these boxes. So I started going through the boxes. I had 2 of them stacked up by my door. So I went through them. Now I only have 1 box because one of the boxes was filled with all the stuff I got when I had surgery. So like I kind of don't need all that. It's been almost 4 years. So
has it been that long?
2019.
Wow.
Yeah. So I didn't need all the stuff, so I kind of tossed it. And now I'm 1 box in, but then I have 2 more boxes in my closet. And I feel like once I start going through stuff and start giving away all the clothes I'm not wearing anymore and packing stuff up, that I am going to have absolutely nothing. Like, and I'm okay with that because I love change. I love for stuff to be like, I'm turning into a minimalist. I want as little as possible to move for these movers so they can get me in and get me out of there and get me into the new place, and I don't have nothing to worry about. Funny, haha, went to my leasing office because my garage remote was not working.
Yes.
I took it in the leasing office, gave it to the young lady, and expected her to pop it open and put me in a new battery. And she looked at me and said, I have to contact maintenance.
What? Why?
And I was like, okay. So 2 days later.
Is it painted clothes?
No, it's not painted clothes. 2 days later, they changed the battery, told me I'd come pick it up. Nisha went and picked it up. Still doesn't work. So now the thing is that now I have to get them to break it open.
This is ghetto.
This is not what I need because I need to get stuff in there, out of there.
Yes.
And the entire time I've had this remote has never not worked. Never not worked. And now because I need to get the hell on, it doesn't work.
I need to get my shit.
Yeah, I need to get my shit. Like, and just throw the rest of that shit away. Anybody watching, I will be selling throwback jerseys in a month's time. I'm gonna get them cleaned up nice for y'all and
buy them.
Look, I'm accepting all offers. I ain't even putting no price out there. What y'all want? Tell me how much you want it for. Like, that's how I'm doing it because I just need to get it gone. But other than my humorous, I guess they're humorous leasing office, my week's been pretty good.
Good to hear.
Yes.
We'll move on. We can talk about what's in our Speakerboxxx.
Yeah.
I listened to a little Blue-Eyed Soul. It's not for real. It's Justin Timberlake. I was listening to.
Does that qualify?
Some people call him Blue-Eyed Soul. That's JT. Push Your Love Girl.
Ah,
And I started listening to that because
that used to be my song.
I love James Fauntleroy.
Yes.
So James Fauntleroy is like,
he's like the Wizard of Oz.
He is.
He's like the Wizard of Oz.
It doesn't make any sense how talented this man is. Like, he is the king, the emperor,
yes,
of creating interludes and intros and outros that should actually be fucking songs. I feel like he does that shit on purpose too.
Right, to piss us off? I
Yes.
think you do it to piss us off, James.
So good.
Yes.
And you'd be like, 1 minute and 31 seconds. Nigga, what?
Child, he giving us TikTok music.
He's the emperor of that shit. It be sounded good.
Super good.
I also was listening to the song called Satisfaction, and it was by an array of artists. Reuben James, Roy Ayers. I was like, Roy Ayers is a lot.
Still very much, still performing.
Yeah. So Roy Ayers is on the song Cartoons, which I love them. Fonville, I've never heard of that, them, they. I don't know if it's a group or a person.
The name is, I've seen the name. Now, I can't say that I've heard the music, but I've seen the name.
And I may be saying this wrong. Bastille Petite. I've never heard of them either. But this is another song. It's super short, but it's good.
I mean, they got an array of people on there.
I know, but it's good.
Yeah.
It's good shit. It's kind of jazz-ish, kind of. But that's what I've been listening to. What have you been listening to?
If anyone has seen any footage of the Louis Vuitton show in Paris, with Pharrell as the new creative director of Louis Vuitton, if you did not know, and he put out a song called Joy, Unspeakable with Voices of Fire, which is the choir from his uncle's church in Virginia. A lot of people didn't know that he did a TV show. Was it on Netflix?
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
It was on Netflix.
It's still on there, I believe.
Okay, yeah, where he was creating a choir. I feel like a lot of the pieces of the choir were the people from the show, because they did like a whole song and they did performances with him after the show was over. So I heard that they had music coming. I just didn't know. But when I tell you, this is I remember back in the day when Stomp came out with Kurt Franklin, and how I was in a nightclub in New York City, and they played Stomp in the nightclub, and I had to walk off the dance floor because I was like, am I dancing to gospel music in the club? Like, I had to gather myself for like 5 seconds.
Joy be hitting those.
Yeah, that's right. But when the people in the club just kept going, and I was like, I'm feeling a way, but now that Joy comes on and comes out, it's like everybody's jamming. Like, it's like, so it's like I can dance to this in the club, like, so. But it's a really good song. It's a very, very good song. So
I get an undeniable urge to the bank head bounce.
Oh yeah, like you should. And the other song is that I don't know if everybody knows, Victor Oladipo is an NBA player who actually sings, and he has a song called "Morning Gift." It's pretty damn good, y'all. It's very, very damn good. And I'm gonna need y'all to go and run that up, because
I was not aware.
Yes,
like he made music. It's really good.
It's super good, and I think that people that know that he sings know that he has a really good voice. I saw him on The Masked Singer, and when I saw him on The Masked Singer, the one performance that stood out, he sang "Ordinary People" by John Legend, and I was like, wait a damn minute. Nice. And it sounded super good. You know, on The Masked Singer, I didn't know who he was at the time because he hadn't lost to be unmasked. So I was just trying to figure it out, and then I started Googling NBA players that sang past and present, and he came up. And then when I started playing some of his other singles and his other music, I picked up on the voice. But he has a beautiful voice. So like his transition out of the NBA, whenever that comes, because I don't even know if he's still actually really playing in the NBA, but he was the last time I checked. His transition out is going to be easy. Like if he get with the right people, it's going to be a breeze, because he sings very, very well.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
So good. I'm gonna have to listen to more of Victor
Yeah.
later. Let's move on to this ghetto ass fucking world we live in.
Man,
I just feel like every day it just gets more and more ghetto. Okay. So, of course, we're going to mention what has been in everyone's timelines the last week or so.
yeah.
The submarine bullshit. I just want to be clear. It's very weird to me anytime less wealthy or non-wealthy people pay for wealthy people. Like, you do realize wealthy people don't give a shit about us, right?
At all.
Us poors.
That's
They don't.
Us poors.
They do things that it's very clear, excuse me, it's very clear they don't give a shit. So when people are just like, oh, they're humans too. Yeah, they are. But do you think they give a fuck about your humanity when they're accepting $1.5 million bonus checks while you're taking a pay cut? Because they're saying that these are the same people, right? And granted, there was some information out there that was saying everybody who went in this bootleg Titanic thing wasn't like rich. Like, some people took out loans. You were able to take out a loan. You were able to take out a $250,000 loan, or whatever, how much loan
That's like
took.
a home loan.
Thank you. I can't get a loan to buy a house.
Right.
But you could get a loan so that you could go do this. That's important. Not housing. Housing is not important. But you would give a loan for that because you have to state what you're getting a loan for. You can't just walk into a bank and say, hey, I want some money. You actually have to be loanable.
Correct.
Meaning you have to have the income,
yes,
in order to get the loan. So maybe they didn't get a $250,000 loan, but you got a sizable enough loan to cover the cost of this. So you may have had money already. But the fact that you have $250,000 to spare.
Yes.
And then you have poor people being like, be empathetic. I'm sorry. And this may be wrong. It may be wrong, but I don't care.
Look.
I save my empathy for people that are in situations that empathy is deserved.
Yeah.
So you know who I do have empathy for? I have empathy for the 19-year-old boy. And it kind of brought up some of my daddy issues because he wanted to impress his father. And that's why he went on this. And any parent who cares about their kid, first of all, would not encourage their child to do nothing like this. Because you could lose your life. Yes. Just the idea. I don't encourage my kid to do things that they possibly could lose. Like, it's clearly unsafe. It says this is not advisable to do this, right? And it reminded me of when I was younger and I used to do things to impress my dad. So my dad would bet me to do things that were very dangerous. And my mom would be like, don't do that. And of course I'm not listening to her because, bitch, I'm not trying to impress you. I'm trying to impress this nigga. Yeah. Which is stupid, right? I can recall my dad had this bag of chili peppers. One of his friends came back from Mexico.
Girl, no.
And bought back all these really, really hot chili peppers. They were all red. And my dad found the biggest one in that bitch. They were all like little peppers, maybe about that long, right? Mm-hmm. He found a big one, about this long. And it would look like a jalapeno pepper. Mm-hmm. And he was like, I'll give you $20 if you eat this. And my mom was like, why would you bet her that? Don't do that. I think I had to be about 12.
Oh, girl, no.
And my silly ass was like, how much will you give me if I eat more than one? And because my dad was a fucking idiot, I'll give you $20 for each one you eat, but it got to be this size or close to it. And I found 4. I successfully ate 2. My mouth was on fire for like 2 days. And then he was like, I'll give you $50 if you do it and don't drink no milk. And my mom was like, that's where I draw the line. Stop. Don't do this. So you put that away because I was ready to go. But I feel like in my mind, this 19-year-old boy was like, I want to be close to my dad. And if I know this is unsafe, but if I agree to do this, maybe it makes me closer to my dad. Like idiotic tiny Syn, who was like, I just want to be closer to my dad.
Baby, no.
So if I destroy all my taste buds, maybe this nigga will love me more.
She if I destroy all of my taste buds.
My bleeding heart goes out to that 19-year-old boy and to his mother, who probably was like, please don't do this. You don't have to go with your dad. Like, let him. Now she is less a husband
and less a child.
I have all the empathy in the world for her and her child.
That's just, it's tragic.
It's a ghetto situation also, because the guy who came up with this harebrained scheme, first of all, he wasn't turning a profit, because how much money can you really make from this, right? You got people going down in the sea, under the sea, in a fucking Sprite can. How many people are going to pay to do that?
All I have to say is that it was a Logitech controller. Logitech.
This is ghetto.
You can buy them on Amazon for $30. Logitech.
This reminds me of like that person in the hood who be trying to convince people to do shit. Like, hey, I got this. Like, you better get up on this before. No, nobody needs to get up on this. Nobody needs to take part. This is stupid. It's probably illegal what you're doing. But this man had them sign these forms that said if a death arises from this, like it's not on him. But he made something that was unsafe and was told
was completely unsafe. Like, just that's weirdo behavior. Just very weirdo. And then it was like all these other people that are a part of his organization. Like, why did y'all allow for this to happen?
The big come up, because that man is still alive and he has all their money, because it was 5 people in there and it was $250K a head. Okay,
baby, when
y'all got calculators, when 250 times 5,
if he know like I know, he left the country already.
Nothing's gonna happen to him, because, and this is what I'm gonna say, and then we're gonna move on to the ghetto happenings in other parts of the world. People are under this delusion or illusion, I guess, that if you have money, you're smart.
Yeah.
Like, why do you guys make these things like go together?
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like if you're a woman, you have a period. No, like that makes sense, right? If you're born with female reproductive organs, you more than likely gonna have a period. Just because you have money, that doesn't make you smart. Everybody doesn't get their money from like intelligently coming up with something that gives them income.
It's mostly family money.
Look at like legit, like look at all the rich people in the world, right? Even, and I'm gonna mention their names. It starts with K, right? Their last name. Even them being like one of the youngest ones, people calling her a self-made billionaire. No, you're not. Yes, your last name started with a J, but you came from a family
who already
had money. That doesn't make you self-made. You have a cushion, you have support, you have a network that you could go to and say, my sisters are well known. My mother is well known. I have an idea. And a poor, could have the exact same marketing plan, business plan as her. And they're going to give her the loan for her business before they even look at me, because the return on investment for her is immediate.
Correct.
And that's how this world works. So I want us to stop thinking because people have money that automatically equals intelligence. No, it doesn't, because this was clearly
unintelligent,
a bad idea. A smart person, like genuinely smart, okay, would be like, hard pass.
Yeah,
I'd like to live to spend my billions and millions, so I'm gonna not do this. In my mind, I think the families or the partners of the people who went, like, how hard were you going at them to not do it? we can't even, I don't even put that off on family members because
No, I'm just saying, no, I'm not saying putting it off on them. I'm just saying, like, in my mind, I'm imagining the conversations they had before they actually did it. Like, your wife was at home being like, you know, this is dumb, right? Like, and you were like, I would like to do it. Like, I'm imagining those conversations.
So that's where it comes in. You also can't tell rich people what to do, what not to, because for some reason, people with money think that they should not be told no. I have money. I could do whatever the fuck I want to do. Right?
That's true. That's very
so
true.
Even if there is some consequence, some negative consequences to be suffered by what you do, your money can legit usually get you out of the trouble. So, but you can't rumble with the bee and not get stung. And the bee just so happened to be the motherfucking ocean. The ocean don't care how much money you make, bitch.
I am just very, y'all leave it down there. Stop going down there. Like,
water, listen, nature is not to be fucked with.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I mean, these orcas are already, they organizing to get us out of here anyway when y'all get on boats. So I don't know what y'all doing.
We thought jellyfish was the ones that was going to take us out. These orcas was like, I will wave hi to you with my fin. I will make you very comfortable. Bitch, get close to that boat and I'm going to eat your ass. I don't even eat humans, but I'm going to eat your ass.
When I tell you this week alone, I've heard about the orcas talking to each other in their language to organize to flip these boats. I done seen a damn octopus hop on and then hop off of a boat. Yo, boats. Y'all, what y'all did to my people originally on the boat? We not. No, cruises, y'all on back order right now. I can't do it.
Let me tell you, in my mind, the orcas somehow got hold of Avatar 2 and was like,
I haven't watched it.
Look at what they did to the fake sea life. They gonna try to do that to us. Let's get their asses before they get us.
Man, listen.
Okay?
I'm telling you, I'm
not even mad at them.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Because you ain't gonna see my ass out there nowhere. Like, yes, whale watching is fantastic.
Yeah.
I will stay my ass on land.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
good. I don't need that experience.
I haven't like been on a boat like out in the water since I went to Colombia. But
you're not going anywhere. There's orcas though.
Yeah, that's
you in particular are not.
No, not at all.
Like, we're adventurous, but
we not.
I gotta draw the line somewhere.
At some point, I'm like, yeah, that's a little too much for the kid. Like, y'all, I'm good over here. Like, I got the recording. Look, I got the recording. I see you, but that's about it.
Good luck and God bless in the waters with the killer whales.
Yeah, y'all have a good time with that one. I'm not doing it. The world is ghetto.
Mm-hmm.
I say the world is ghetto. Russia is in a civil war. I will say, look, hold on. It was announced at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time because they're hours ahead of us. But it was officially declared that there's a civil war going on, and they're saying that the dude that's trying to get at Putin is just as bad or even worse. So Russia, I don't know what to tell y'all. Because it, according to what I've seen, is looking bad on both ends. Like, so I don't know what, but I will say the things that I saw video-wise from Russia were puzzling to me.
Mm-hmm.
I know that in other countries, Europe, Eastern Europe, Asia, Russia, and all those, when there is war, it is very much in your face. Mm-hmm. So people may see bombs go off. People may see shootings and people get killed. What I saw in Russia today were people with machine guns on the ground aimed in a certain direction and people on dates having coffee around them. I thought that was very weird. Sir, there are 5 men near you with machine guns on the ground, and you and your girlfriend are holding hands and sitting on the bench. And y'all are looking around like y'all don't understand what's happening. And my fear is that they're gonna start shooting and y'all are definitely gonna get caught in the crossfire. Like people were out videoing it like on my iPhone.
But you know what? That could be tantamount to when Canada's wildfire had turned the sky red and all this shit is outside and niggas is just outside chilling like you're not getting smoke inhalation damage
in your lungs. Yeah. So
what is happening?
It was weird because it looked like somebody had taken two videos and superimposed them upon one another because some of those people should not have been there. Like what is going on? It was like a complete disconnect. Like, first of all, I will say this. I when I went to Colombia during the pandemic. And so Colombia's thing is that you had to be tested and be negative to come into the country. Mm-hmm. And you had to upload that information before you came into the country. You had to wear a mask even on the street. Mm-hmm. And then you had to test for the United States to leave the country to see if you were bringing COVID back into the country. Mm-hmm. What I did see when I was in Colombia was walking around in military uniforms were men with large guns. It won't no way in the world I was gonna hover around them hoes and act like it was.
But you're not from there.
Right. That is true. I'm not from there. But again, the people that were walking the street were not hovering around them hoes. They was just walking and I was walking with them.
But they wasn't acting scared neither.
No, they weren't.
Yeah.
But I'm just, in my mind, I'm like, it just didn't look right the way these people were all just cozy by this machine gun. And that is, again, I don't live there.
I need this coffee.
Yeah,
I need this latte.
It was very strange. So, sending positive energy to those people in Russia. Y'all, it may eventually have to pick a side, and I don't know what side is better. Because
good luck and God bless.
Yes, good luck and God bless. Thank you for coming out. Like I don't get it. So
what is going on with our mental?
Yeah,
around the world.
It really was like a complete and total disconnect that was happening. And then it was weird because it looked like some people had a little bit of fear in their face, mm-hmm. but they didn't leave. So that for me was like, okay, so if I feel the fear, I'm gonna go on home to the crib or somewhere else. But it was like they just stood around and they were watching.
It kind of reminds me, what you're saying kind of reminds me of the pandemic at its worst.
Yeah.
Right. And how some people were just outside and someone was just like, I'm spraying all my groceries down. I'm spraying down. Yep. I was Lysoling anybody who stepped to my door. I just feel like some people are just like, yeah, it's happening, but I still have a life to live. And it's weird to see people behave like that.
Yeah.
Even now, there are still some people who are very much like, I'm wearing a mask still today. I'm not doing a bunch of socializing. I don't want to catch COVID. And they probably look at us very weird because we're not wearing masks anymore. I don't listen. How people feel about that, I respect how you feel. If that upsets you, I do apologize. But at this juncture, from this juncture where we are, I've been pumped full of vaccines. Right. And if I feel sick, I do not go out anywhere. I immediately take my COVID test, you take precautions. So I feel like some people are lax. They're going to be lax at first, or maybe some time has gone by and they're just like, these motherfuckers going to be out here with these guns. So that I'm finna get a coffee. They not finna go nowhere. Yeah. I want some type of normalcy in my life. Yeah. So that's very odd to us.
Yes.
Because we're not in a, what is that called? This condition that they're in, the state.
I mean, it's a civil war, but it's like they're in a,
what is it called?
I know what you're talking about. I know it
because they were threatening to do that with us.
Yes.
I want to say police state, but
is it like martial law?
it's
Kind of
something else.
something like that.
There's another
Word.
phrase for
Yeah.
it, and I feel like it's gonna hit me when we start talking about the podcast. So I'm gonna just yell it out, and we're just gonna move on like I didn't have a Tourette's moment. Okay.
Okay.
All right. But yeah, I just think some of us get to the point where we're just like, I can't do this anymore. I have to give myself some sense of normalcy. That's what I'm telling myself.
Yeah, I just don't.
That is weird.
Yeah, it was very strange, and I saw that early this morning, like early on. But of course, because they're very many hours ahead of us. But I was like, when I leave here, I was like, I'm gonna look and see what's going on now, because that was early this morning. You know, afternoon for them probably, but like as night falls, like what has happened? What's going on? Like, so I don't know. It's but yeah, if you got any people over there, you know, pray for them. Yeah, that's a rough one.
Pray for them.
Yeah.
Well, you know, let's talk about some more ghetto shit. Episode 49. Fetishism of Black bodies. Off the rip. Ghetto. Okay.
Look.
But before we like dive into all of the examples, all of that, I think it's important to discuss fetishes, what that means.
Yes.
Fetishism and fetishization. My mouth cannot say that word.
Fetishization.
I feel like you're fucking it up because I'm fucking it up because you were saying it right earlier. Y'all know what the fuck we talking about.
Yeah, you know what we're saying.
Okay? We're not some idiots. We know.
People being fetishized.
Yes.
that's the easiest way to say it.
And I feel like we have to discuss what that means because people say it so freely, like, oh, that's my fetish. And I don't think people understand there's like a huge negative connotation to it.
I don't like when people use words frequently because they're accustomed to using words, but they're not using it in its proper context. Yes. So I would like to define fetish for the people. A fetish is a form of sexual desire in which gratification is strongly linked to a particular object or activity or a part of the body other than the sexual organs. That's important.
Yes.
So, and then, hold on, there's another part too. An inanimate object worshipped for its supposed magical powers or because it is considered to be inhabited by a spirit. I actually like that second definition better.
That second one's kind of scary.
Yeah, the second one is kind of scary, but I think the second one speaks to what we were talking about before, about sometimes when it's a fetish, it dehumanizes the person that is affiliated with whatever that has the aesthetic that the person is fetishizing.
And that's when it does that, that's when it becomes a negative thing.
Yes.
And so when it comes to Black bodies, there was a lady who wrote an article and it was in Forbes. I think her name was Janice. I'm going to say this woman's name correctly because it was a Black woman. Her name, yes, Janice Gassam Asair. And she wrote this article in Forbes. You guys can check it out. What is fetishization and how does it contribute to racism? And I know some people are just like, what? I thought we were talking about sex.
No, that's next week.
But this kind of feeds into it because the reason a big fetish that's going on right now, even though we're talking about Black bodies, these passport bros, they're fetishizing Asian women or wherever the fuck they're going to go get non-Black women or non-white women. Yes. Right? But I think passport bros was specifically talking about Black niggas. But wherever they're going to fuck with non-Black women, they are fetishizing these women because they're relying on some stereotypical information about these women to be true because it's not applicable to the women of their own ethnicity, nationality, and race.
And in some countries, what the passport bros is doing are doing is considered sexual tourism, and it's against the law. In Brazil,
Yes.
that's why one of the guys got in trouble and he can't go back to Brazil because they're looking for him. What is equivalent to a warrant in the United States is what they have out for him in he left Brazil and went to Thailand and hasn't been back.
Y'all be careful.
So I mean,
trying to find you a woman.
But the thing is that they, the whole thing about that is that their ideal is that they're going to find love, but when in reality is that you're looking for prostitutes.
Yes.
Like you're basically taking advantage of sex workers who may be in less economically stable countries, because none of you said that you were going to Canada to look for wives. None of you said that you were going to like a place with like none of you said you were going to the UK or to, you know what I'm saying? Like none of you said you were going to Japan or China to look for a wife. You specifically said Thailand, the Philippines. It's very specific, these locations that you're going to, and there's a reason why you're being very specific. So call it what it is. The thing about people being fetishized, I mean, it's horrible to be fetishized, but a lot of y'all want to make it something that it's not, and that's what you are. If you're speaking about passport bros, in a sense, that's what they're doing.
So even a lot of people try to pass their fetish off as a preference.
Yeah.
And we are bringing this up because, and I love what Janice said in her article. She says, it's not uncommon for a person on social media to state their dating preferences. And while on the surface, it may seem benign and even complimentary, oftentimes these preferences can actually reinforce harmful stereotypes that are already held about different groups. So when it comes to preferences, and I know last week I said that my preference was dark-skinned men. This is where things like saying things like that, like what I said, can be harmful because nobody knows the context of why I said that. And it can come across like, is that a fucking fetish?
Right.
As a Black woman, no. However, I am using myself as an example because imagine if I said it the other way around. I only fuck with light skinned niggas.
Right.
So with that being said, she made a comment about that too. And actually what that is, she was like, within communities of color, so by me saying that, fetishization can look like the glorification of lighter skin, which would be colorism. We talked about that last week, and more Eurocentric features, which is featureism. My mouth's not working. As well as hair discrimination, which Tara mentioned is texturism. So yes, I'm going to give context. I made that statement because when I was younger, I didn't want to date anyone who looks like my father, which would look more like me, which is light eyes and light skin. I was like, that's off limits. I'm not doing that. Have I dated lighter skinned men? Yes, I have, but it wasn't my preference. And this is why we have to be careful when we say, oh, it's just my preference. Why I can't have a preference? Why people like, because your preference can be rooted in racism.
Yes.
And prejudice. Yes. And discrimination.
Yes.
And this is where having people as a fetish is dangerous. So even with this fetishization, I keep adding letters. That's why I keep fucking it up. Anyone who doesn't know about Sarah Barton, it was this Black lady back in the day. And she had the body which everybody is going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs over, right?
Right.
The big titties, the big ass, the small waist. Now, Sarah, when you look at pictures, she would have been considered obese, right? I hate that fucking word because in the medical world, it's used so arbitrarily.
Yes.
But whatever. So she had this body that was considered fucking phenomenal to the point that they made her like a fucking circus act. Yep. She was someone put on display, and it was like that was her value to people. She wasn't looked at as a human being. And so they viewed other Black bodies like that too. Yes. Here's where the fetish comes in, right? So these Black women were being raped.
Yes.
Or they were being bought specifically for their bodies to be shown off. They were still being used as slaves, but they were also impregnated for these same fucking reasons, right? And so this is where it becomes very dangerous, because now, fast forward to 2023, you got all these motherfuckers out here getting the Sarah Bartman bodies. That's what I call it. Like, y'all can say whatever you want to say, but there's a particular aesthetic that is attributed to the stereotypical or the typical Black woman body, which we tend, and this is not me just talking out of my ass. My doctor even said this the other day, and I have a non-white doctor. She said, non-white women tend to have bigger breasts, right? We tend to also have other bigger things, like bigger asses, bigger thighs, or whatever, right? People fetish. That's a fetish for some people. So we see all of these non-Black people getting these surgeries to look like Black women because it's a fetish. Like men, there are tons of men who will only date women who have that certain aesthetic.
Yes.
There are also women who date women and they will only date you if your body looks like that.
Yes.
I ran across someone who talked terribly about other women's bodies if they didn't look like that. And I was just like, how fucking dare you? You know what we go through as women.
Why would you do that? Yeah, why would you do that?
Because it's a fetish.
Yeah.
They don't care about these women. Like, they don't care that these women have feelings. It's just, it's a desired attribute.
Yes.
That they're going for. The same thing happens with Black men. Non-Black women going after Black men in particular, okay?
Look.
The shit fucking disgusts me, because you'll have children with these Black men, but you will not teach your children about their Black heritage, their Black culture.
Nothing.
And you actually don't even really like Black people.
Yeah.
You just want some Black dick.
Yeah. The whole thing about fetishizing the Black man, it always, for me, it always bothers me, because there are so many Black men that are willing to participate in that and are like, yeah. And I'm like,
it's not a badge of honor to fuck with someone who's not Black. I want to put that out there. Like,
well, it's not a badge of honor to fuck with somebody
the self-hatred hell.
Put somebody who's not Black, who only wants to fuck with you because they heard something about you, Black men.
Let's just get it out there. The average size penis is what? 5-6 inches?
5-6 inches.
The average. So you're going to get a whole lot more of that. Please listen. Any non-Black people listen to this. You're going to get a whole lot more 5 to 6 inches than you get of these mandingo dicks that you just think everybody has because you watch too much fucking porn.
That's what I was about to say. The ones you see on porn, and they find those men and pay them. Those actors, those are actors.
What, we got a whole month about sex coming out. But I just want to say this. Do you really know what 10 inches of penis looks like?
Girl, we gonna save that, because good God, we gonna have a whole conversation.
I'm just gonna say, shout out to my porn stars.
Yes.
My porn stars I follow, I love y'all. Those bitches, that's their job.
Right.
To fuck those types of things every day. You at home with lots of responsibilities and children, you can't fuck that penis every day, girl.
No, ma'am.
How you feel walking around with a swollen coochie all day?
Baby. Oh, I can't wait till next month.
We're gonna talk about it, but that's part of the fetishes.
Yeah.
Oh, he has a big dick. I mean, I guess. How many dicks did you go through before you found the one you wanted, though?
But here's the thing is that, but depending on who you've been sleeping with, his dick might be bigger than theirs, but it might not be big. Big is a relative term.
What do you, I know what big is.
So do I. But big is a relative term.
This is also coming from somebody, I used to measure penises. I want to know. I'm just a curious person. That didn't actually have anything to do with like sex. I was just like, I want to know for myself.
Yeah.
So when a guy says it, because guys be lying.
Yes.
Same thing about their height. Like, I can't see you. You lied and said you were 6'2". Why are you 5'9"?
6'2",
they do the same thing about
6'2" in your Timberland.
They do the same thing about their penis. I'm 9 inches. You don't think I can tell the difference between a 6-inch penis and a 9-inch?
I mean, just say you have a nice one, like, because you might have a nice
Or
one.
don't speak on it at all. Do your work.
Wait a minute.
Do your work.
Wait,
Do your work.
wait, no, but it might not be a nice one. It might not be 10 inches, but it might be a nice one. So stop putting numbers to it.
But even if it's, and we're going off the rails here.
We are.
Even if it's a big one, that doesn't mean you know how to use it.
Oh, that's true.
Big penises that I had sex with, that is just like, what are you doing?
Yeah. So
what are you doing, nigga?
Okay, we're gonna
fetish.
We're gonna steer back. Yeah,
we're steering back.
That is a fetish. But
I
also want to talk about something that has been going on. I feel like it's been going on for a couple of years, but it's been rampant the past 2 or 3. Is the BBW movement, about how all the men all of a sudden like big girls. Look, let me tell you something. When I was I still consider myself a big girl. I'm a smaller big girl, but I'm still a big girl. I've been a big girl all my life, and I met a guy when I was I met him in high school, but he didn't really try to talk to me till I was like out of college. But it was somebody I knew. It was my next door neighbor's cousin. So I saw him all the time. Not a big deal. And he was like, he wanted to take me out. He wanted to do this and wanted to do that. So I went to his cousin and I was like, yo, what's up with your cousin? Like, he coming on hella strong. And he was like, oh, he like big girls. And immediately I was unattracted to him, like that fast, because I don't want you to like me because I'm a big girl.
But
wait, it wasn't that, and this is what I'm saying, is that I've always said this, and I've always felt this, like, I don't want, if you like big girls, that's fine.
Okay.
I don't want you, I don't have a problem with, I didn't have a problem with him liking big girls, but I didn't want you to like me just because I was a big girl. And that was kind of where I was with him, because I had known him all these years. Like, and for me, I felt like it came out of nowhere, because I've been seeing you for 5 or 6 years. Like, you have never come at me. Now, at this point, I had put on weight. I had put on weight. So as soon as he said that, his cousin said that to me, I was like, yeah, it's a wrap. I'm not fooling with this nigga. Just because it's a fetish for him. Like, he may say it's a preference, but you've known me all these years and you were never attracted to me until I reached a certain threshold of weight gain. Yeah. Then you were interested in me. So I was kind of like.
And that is how I was able to realize when some people have a fetish for big women, is if this same woman lost any weight, would you still care about her? Would you still be attracted to her? Would you still love her? And I knew this guy, all his girlfriends had been big, right? He wasn't big, but all his girlfriends had been big. And he thought it was like, again, like Janice said, some people think that they're making a complimentary statement. Oh, I like big girls. And he had this one girlfriend who lost a ton of weight. I want to say she went from being almost 400 pounds. She went down to 160.
Oh, gosh. And congratulations to her.
He cheated. Don't say that, because you don't know if she wanted to lose that weight.
Oh, no, I took it like that. She did it on purpose. So you're right.
Yes.
Okay.
But he treated her so terrible when she lost her weight. Oh, you think you're cute because you lost weight? Like, don't give this woman self-esteem issues.
Right.
Now, he knew why she lost weight.
Right.
But he tried to make her feel bad for losing weight. And that's when people who have these fetishes, it's like if anything changes about the person and they no longer fit your mold, like you said, the guy became attracted to you or expressed his attraction once you reached that weight that it's on and popping.
Yeah.
It's like, but Tamara's a whole ass person.
Right.
Like, she is that nigga.
Right.
Whether she is a stick or she pasty and plump.
Yep.
Like, how dare you?
Yeah. It was very discouraging.
Yes.
And then I feel like for me, I carried that a lot with me a lot of times. When people said they were interested in me, I would be like, why? Like I started
Yes.
to I started to question anybody who expressed interest in me because I'd be like, why? Why you like me? Like, and I know that for some people that may come off a certain way, but like if you say you like me, you should be able to tell me why you like me.
Well, that same article,
Yeah.
Janice was saying that sometimes people do things, and this is how you can tell that it's a fetish, is sometimes people will go after light-skinned people. Like, oh, they're light-skinned, or they want to have babies. I'm sorry, I'm saying the wrong thing. They want to have babies with lighter skinned people because they want their children to have lighter skin and light eyes. I've known several people who did this. They would only date lighter skinned people because they wanted their kids to have light skin and light eyes. And the absolutely absurd thing about that, let's pull some logic in here, right?
If you start talking science, people are gonna shut down.
But this is how you know fetishes, they literally don't make any sense. It's like something that you are telling yourself that is just if you applied any logic to it, you wouldn't do it.
You know,
DNA does what the fuck DNA want to do.
Whatever.
Okay, like my dad is very light skinned. Was. My mom is darker than Tamara. None of us came out dark skinned. Like my brother and sister, they're not light skinned. I'm legit the only light one, but they're not as dark as my mom at all. And she was kind of pissed about it. And it's like, why in the world would you think that your kid, like, what made you think that it was automatically a bet?
Right.
That any of us were going to come out one particular way. So I'm not saying that you should have known your kids were gonna come out light skinned, your husband light skinned. You don't know. It literally is a crapshoot. We've seen this stuff in the news too. 2 Black people having a baby that look white.
Yeah.
Your DNA gonna do what the fuck it want to do. Once it mixes with somebody else's, it's a crap. Even your DNA can pull from like generations back. I have cousins who have red hair.
Yeah.
Red hair.
And that's how sometimes you'll have. I'll never forget when my friend had her son, and when he was a baby, he was a spitting image of his paternal grandfather. Like they had the whole same face. Didn't look like the mama, didn't look like the daddy, looked like his grandfather. To this day, this boy looked like his grandfather. I was like, but that's DNA. That's just kind of how it works. Like you cannot be like, well, I know they gonna look like this. That's why every time I see people on like paternity court, he don't even look like me.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? What that got to do with anything?
What does it mean?
That don't got nothing to do with anything, baby. Nothing whatsoever. When they take this test and they say it's yours, what that mean? It still ain't gonna mean nothing.
Even if we talk about Bug, right?
Yes.
So when Bug was first born, Bug is my daughter. When she was first born, she looked Samoan.
Yeah, she was a Samoan.
And she was light skinned.
She was a Samoan baby.
Bug was light skinned until she was maybe 6.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden she became dark. I don't even know how it happened. I just woke up one day
and she was
dark skinned. Yeah. And she's still dark skinned to this day. However, Bug became anemic. So for those who don't know, her iron dropped really, really low. And she started getting light skin again.
Yep.
You don't know. So to say that you are only going to date certain people so your kids will have lighter skin, have lighter eyes, have better hair. What the fuck is better hair? What the fuck is better hair? Because I could get cancer tomorrow and all this is going to be gone.
Look, let me tell you.
Who got better hair now?
Let's have a talk about better hair. Better hair. As a small child, I've always got my hair straightened. You know, you go get the press and curl from my auntie had a salon, old school salon. So I had them wax curls and the grease was running down my neck hot. Like I had those type of curls. And once I got out of the press and curl, my mama didn't feel like dealing with that. I went straight relaxer. I went relaxer. So I had been getting relaxers all my life. Always had relaxers in my hair. And then when I became a poor college student in grad school, I couldn't afford to get my hair done. So what I started doing was I started getting my hair braided. And then once I had enough hair that had grown out after getting my hair braided, I just cut all the straight stuff off of my head, and I had a very small afro. Well, when I went to this is before we had all of these curl products. I'm old school in it. I'm telling my age, I went natural in 97. There weren't any curl products. There weren't any natural hair blogs or your journey journals. None of that. I just was poor and had to go natural. Fine. But what happened was when I came home to my mother and my mother saw my hair is naturally curly. I had never known that my entire life. I was in my late 20s when I found that out because I cut my hair. That was the only way that I found out. So my mom says to me, "Where did you get that hair from?" I was like, "I don't know, Mama. It might be that lady that was half white that was your grandmother. I'm not sure." But so she thought it was like a whim. So then my sister, we have the same mother and father, cut her hair. She got the same hair I got. So then everybody in the family was like, "Where y'all get this hair from?"
Oh my God.
Y'all, some of y'all might got it. I don't know. But the combination of
Obviously,
Judy and Gary gave us this. That's all I can say to y'all. That's all I know. But the thing is that when people talk about hair texture, like I would have, I consider myself a 4C girl, but I'm also a girl that has coily, very curly hair. So it's a lot of times people feel like, this is old school. The easier it is to do your hair, the better your hair is. I mean, if we're gonna use those standards, I have better hair now than I had when I was a child.
See?
So what is that? Like, but this is always the hair that has grown out of my head. I just didn't know I had curly hair because I was putting chemicals on my head. And that was because it was making it easier for my mother to do my hair with the chemicals. So y'all are taking the idea of doing hair easily to mean better hair. That's not a thing, y'all.
It's called texturism.
Yeah, stop that. That's not a thing.
You have prejudice and discrimination of people's hair,
right,
based on its texture. But that's, with fetishes, I think it's so easy for people to be like, "Oh, so we just can't have preferences now." You can have your preference, but challenge where that preference is coming from.
Yes, where it originates.
Why do you have that? I had to sit with it, and then I even though I was making myself make it make sense why I was going to date dark-skinned men only, I really had to sit with it and be like, this is coming from a very negative place, because I have a problem with my father, and I am putting that off on literally every light-skinned man in the goddamn world.
Yeah.
I have probably passed up some really good men simply because I didn't look twice at them, because I was like, he gonna have the same traits as my daddy because he's light skinned.
Yeah.
Like, do you understand how stupid that is? But I made it make sense to me.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying challenge what you've been telling yourself. Because I have a homie who is married to someone who's Asian. And he was just like, I don't know where they get the stereotype that Asian women are submissive and docile. He was like, my wife act like a Black woman. He was like, that's no shade to Black people.
Right.
But he said, if I would have said I'm dating her because Black women, they are too difficult, they're complicated, blah, blah, blah. He was like, well, I just walked into the same thing.
Right.
He was just like, it's a people thing. It doesn't have anything to do with their skin color or their race or whatever the fuck ever. And that's why we have to challenge why we're saying we like these things, right? Like, even if you're like, I only fuck with big girls because my mama was big and my favorite girlfriend was big. It's just like, yeah, but say you meet someone who's big and she loses weight.
Like, is that going to change your opinion of that woman?
Even if you're like, no, why would it change? There might be subtle things that you start doing differently because maybe you're not attracted to her anymore,
Right.
because you have told yourself in your mind,
Yep.
if she don't look like my mama,
Yep,
or my favorite ex-girlfriend,
yep,
I don't have to treat her as well.
yeah.
So the same thing when you fetishize it, as far as dating, and we're talking about more Black women bodies than anything, or I should say more women's bodies. But even with the men, you know, I know a lot of people who date Black men, and I'm always concerned about the children.
Yeah.
In this instance, I'm concerned about the men too. Don't get me wrong, because nobody deserves that.
Right.
Right. But the children, like, we teach our children these things, whether we say it out of our mouth or not.
Right.
Like, they're watching. Right. And it's like, are we dating people for the right reason?
Yeah.
And then when we bring children into this, what are we teaching our children?
Yeah.
When it comes to the people that we've been with, like,
right.
Do you teach people, or are you treating people as a whole person, not just, I'm in love with this one thing about you, Tamara.
Yeah.
As long as that stays that way, you're good with me.
Yeah. And that's kind of what a fetish is.
Yeah.
That's kind of what a fetish is. It's just like you are laser focused on that one thing in that person. Not that person as a whole, but that one thing in that person. And that is an issue.
Imagine being a big girl and knowing, like, you've lost some weight and your partner starts treating you different because you lost weight. You gained your weight back, but now you're having some health issues, not necessarily related to the weight, but they'll be less complicated if you lose weight. And you tell yourself, I don't want to lose this person. Now, this is a whole nother issue. Now you got some issues you got to deal with yourself.
Yeah.
But you're afraid of losing a relationship.
Right.
Because if you lose weight, this person is possibly going to leave. Like, it's too much. It's too much when you could just like people for who the fuck they are.
I used to get the, anytime I would be like, I need to lose weight, someone I was dating would always say, I like you that size. And I was like, but this doesn't have anything to do with you. I'm unhappy. I'm unhappy at this weight. So I need to lose weight. And it was really like they would pitch a fit because they wanted to know why. Because I'm not unhappy, but I'm happy. That don't have nothing to do with me, brother.
So your happiness supersedes my own happiness about my body?
Right. So that was always the thing. It was like he could not comprehend that it had nothing to do with him. Like, we a couple, but this ain't got shit to do with you, brother. Like, I'm finna do it, and then you just gonna have to deal with it.
I really want us to sit with how we treat each other, because our personal preferences, yes, you can prefer it. Listen.
Okay, the personal preferences, like, hi, my name is Tamara and I'm the shortest. I discriminate against men that are shorter than me. So that's my preference.
Things like, I prefer to not wear bras. That doesn't hurt anyone.
I mean, right? I'm not hurting anyone because I'm a tall woman and I would prefer to date someone my height. I said people shorter than me, so my height or taller.
Yes.
So that's my preference.
But what becomes harmful is when you talk about it in a way as if something is wrong with this person because they do not meet your preference required or your standards.
Yeah.
Right?
That's different.
It's like, this person cannot help that they only grew to be 5'6".
Yes.
Like, don't make them feel bad about that.
And for the people out there, there are men out there who are 5'7" and under who can say that I have dated them. So Everybody be quiet.
Don't do that, because you know what that does? That's like black people, white people who are just like, I'm not racist. I have a black friend.
Well, I
Still
said I
don't care
was
about
sure.
your one black friend, motherfucker.
But I'll admit to that.
But I'm saying you have to challenge it the same way I had to challenge me saying my preference was dark-skinned men. Technically, I can't say that was a fetish technically, but it's discriminatory.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. You have a prejudice against short men, and it's like, okay, but they can't do anything about that.
Right. I mean, but I don't, harm them in any way. I just like
you be talking shit. She be talking shit
to the ones that try to talk to me. Yes, but no.
But you don't have to. You just be like, that's not for me.
No, but that's what I put to them. When I say that's not for me, that's to them. I'm talking shit to them because I'm saying it's not for me.
No,
so
no, she be talking shit. She doesn't want to admit this because we're on the podcast. I own my shit. I need you to own yours.
Do I be talking shit?
Yes, nigga.
About them?
Yes. Why would you even talk to me, nigga? Don't you see how tall I am? Obviously, that's why he's talking to you.
I guess. I mean,
there's nicer ways for us to handle this. Just like I could have owned that when I was younger and not been like, I'm not fucking with no light-skinned niggas, right? Like, why you gotta say all that?
Right.
You could have just kept that to yourself, bitch. But instead, you make it seem like they're not good enough for you because of their skin, because they can't do nothing about that.
Right.
But how I said it, it was not, it gave off the, you're light skinned.
Right.
Don't fucking talk to me.
You're right.
You know
I can say it nicer.
I mean, you don't have to be like, oh no, thank you.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to know that I'm only gonna date. Because the fact of the matter is, I'm not gonna date anybody who's 5'2".
Right.
Because that's not what I want.
Right.
There's been some nice looking dudes that have been shorter than me. Mm-hmm. I fucked with them. Yeah. I had them. These niggas. If I was like, I want kids.
Right.
But it's like, that's how you know it's a preference. That's how you know.
Right.
Is you have fucked with him, and it's not gonna change like anything that happens. Like,
right.
If he had proposed, or you know what I'm saying, if the relationship got serious, and you'd be like, I can't fuck.
No, because that's how I used to feel like whereas I was like you, I didn't want to fool with no light skinned dudes, but I have plenty.
Yeah, but you don't ever say anything that indicates there's a discrimination issue there.
Right.
Not the way you be talking about short niggas.
Yes.
Yeah. It's okay, friend. Everyone can grow.
I can. Look, I talked to Jesus about my issues.
We not gonna come on the podcast and act like we're perfect. We are not. And we said this season was unsafe.
Yes.
So I admit I had discriminatory practices against my own people at one time. I do not. Light-skinned people, you can holler at me.
Okay, light skin.
You can holler at me. I'm not having no kids.
Oh,
so
goodness.
Oh
my goodness. So I don't know. That's just, and I feel like sometimes the fetish line, it teeters. Like
it does.
It very much it teeters.
It does.
And it's just, for some people they're okay with it, but you just got to be careful because you can lean a little too hard and it becomes an issue. So you got to come back next week. Yes.
Because for everyone who's just like, damn, we can't have nothing. All this politically correct bullshit. You can have kinks.
Yes.
You can have those.
Yes.
And those are safer than fetishes. You don't have to toe a line. Well, yes, you do. You have to have some safe words.
Yes.
Because you're not gonna choke me to where you are asphyxiating me. Okay. Do not cause me to blacken. Listen, I'm not turned on by that. I'm dead. Okay. Don't choke me. Still, that's a kink. I'm not saying it's my kink. I'm using that as an example. Like,
I've gotten to the
right?
once or
Sometimes it'd be
twice.
cool,
It's
but
yeah,
you
it's
know,
all right.
sometimes niggas be reliving their moments
Yeah.
of I hate my mama, nigga,
Yeah.
don't kill me.
That is
Because
a
you're
you know
having a
that was that was the conversation. Do you just take your aggression out on me when we have sex? Yes. Oh no. We must end this right now because you might be mad at me one day and I don't know what's going to happen.
Right. Next one is gonna be lit.
Yeah.
And we'll get more into this because some fetishes are safe.
Yeah.
If you need to rewind this episode and go back to the beginning where Tamara gave the definitions,
Yes.
definition 2, you in a safe lane.
Yeah.
If you have a fetish that before sex, you got to have your wand and be like, abracadabra, bitch, before you put the kung fu killer pussy on a nigga. That's a fetish that is safe.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So it's I can't wait till next week.
Yes, it gets fun.
It gets fun.
Less informational, more fun.
Yes, more fun. Still information.
Yeah, yeah.
But fun.
So come back to episode 50. Until then, adios, amigos.
Deuces. See you next time. I am dramatic. Dramatic. Be like my nickname.
Yes. Bye.
Bye, people.
So long.